Hello, Jasmine. Jasmine is from Balanced Life Nutrition, and she's here today to talk to us about rest and digest, especially in reference to the digestive system, as she is a holistic nutritional coach. Hello, Jasmine.
Hi, Dionne. Thank you so much for having me here. It's really wonderful, and I'm excited to be a part of the virtual retreat as well. So, rest and digest. So many people don't understand, how important it is that, you really take the time to be able to relax your body and to be able to get the proper nutrition and proper sleep, how everything that you do really affects your digestion. And I actually focus on gut health specifically. So that, people don't seem to understand that everything affects your gut health, and from a holistic standpoint, from a holistic nutrition standpoint, I look at so many different factors. To me, holistic nutrition is really looking at unnecessary environmental toxins that you may be exposing yourself to. Are you happy in your relationships and your friendships? Are those healthy relationships? Are you getting adequate sleep? I know most of us are not.
I
And we can
know.
always use some improvement in that department.
One of the things that if you don't mind me interrupting you there, one of the things that I love about the connection between rest and sleep, not rest and sleep, sorry, gut health and sleep, is that and I only learned this recently, is that not having enough sleep is a contributing factor to weight gain.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I was like,
I know, right? A lot of people don't put that link together because there's only more recently is there more research becoming available linking gut health to so many different illnesses that people have these days, or just, ailments that we have and symptoms that we experience. So, sleep is so important just for the fact that, our gut microbes, there's trillions of bacteria within our gut microbiome. That's what makes it our microbiome. But when we sleep, our gut bacteria like to sleep too. So they need to rest as well, and
they
they
can
help.
become overtired.
Exactly. And, we want to be able to maintain a balance there as well. It's so important.
So the actual terminology, having a lazy intestinal system, it's real.
It
It's
is
lazy because
real.
it's tired.
It is real, but in that sense, it's not so, it's a combination of everything. The gut is really, it consists of everything from your mouth to your esophagus to your intestines, your liver, everything, the pancreas, everything all works together in conjunction, and all of these body systems, they need to be in balance for the rest of your body to function properly as well, too. And, the whole idea is to be able to get everything functioning optimally. That's our ideal goal.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. That's what we do strive for. That's what we want. So in reference
Exactly.
to like um, bringing more to the forefront of our nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system responsible for rest, how beneficial um, would that be for the digestive system?
It is extremely important. You want to be eating your food in a relaxed state so that your body can, start to focus on the digestion portion of things. You want to be conscious of what you're eating, to be able to really savor that moment, to smell your food, to taste it, chew it, not just wolf everything down as quickly as you can in a short amount of time. I know we all rush,
So
to be able to
struggle
eat.
with that though. That is so hard for so many people. What kind of tips can you give for someone who can't? I mean, many people can't chew. Is it 40 bites before you swallow?
Anywhere
Ideally,
from ideally
ideally,
yes,
but
anywhere
even
from
20.
15, yeah, anywhere from 15 to 40 chews per mouthful of food. Because what you want to do is you want to help your digestion. You want to be able to chew everything down so it starts breaking down in your mouth first, and then it starts to go down into your body so that you can start breaking it down even more. So the more you chew your food, the more help you're giving your whole digestive system, you know, in terms of breaking down and absorbing the foods too.
So
And,
the
you
less
know, when you're
work,
sitting still,
so
yeah, it's
work the
less
stomach
work
has
for your
to do.
stomach. Exactly. And, you know, you want to be able to start the process as quickly as you can by chewing your food. And then also by sitting still and eating and just focusing on eating, you allow your body to focus on that. And your energy goes to your stomach, and the circulation, everything is focused on your stomach so that it can do its job properly rather than running around trying to multitask, taking a bite and
Yeah.
doing something else, you know?
So what damage are we doing when we're eating on the go?
You know, over time, obviously it's not going to happen over, you know, just doing this maybe 10 to 12 times or something like that, but it's a period of over time when you're under stress like that all the time, it's going to affect the gut microbes. It's going to create an imbalance within your system because of the stress that you're putting on it. So you don't realize it at the time, but when you don't allow yourself to sit still and enjoy that moment of eating and just that stillness to be able to focus and savor that food, you're taking away energy from that. So over time, you create that imbalance. It's adding more stress to your system.
So am I right in thinking so we can all understand this more clearly because you come from such a scientific background is because when you're on the go, you're active, you're doing you're thinking you as well as you're moving. It's like being the opposite from being at rest. It's the opposite
Exactly.
from being still.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when you're in that opposite, you can actually say that you're in the fight and flee response, even though you might be happy doing what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
You're active, and therefore your nervous system is in the fight and flee response, which is stopping it from being in the parasympathetic rest response. And
Exactly. You want
therefore,
to be in that parasympathetic state to be able to relax and eat and, you know, do those normal things rather than being in that state of, you know, that fight or flight mode, you know, because you need that time. You don't want your cortisol levels spiking. You want to be able to just enjoy the moment, you know?
so what would you say in reference to advice? There's so many there's so many parents out there that are struggling day every single dinner time going, slow down, chew your food. What tips can you give those poor parents? Please tell us, help us.
That is a tough one. I know a lot of my friends struggle with that as well, you know, but I think it's creating routines for people, you know, is built to have that time to sit down together and enjoy that moment together. So it's a family activity almost, you know, and it doesn't just become a chore of trying to get a child to eat or trying to actually find time for yourself to eat as a parent, you know, but it's making that a family activity so that everyone can be involved in it and have that exposure and then built to, you know, if possible, finding that time to make foods together, the meals together, you know, and then sitting down and coming together to enjoy that time to eat what you've actually put together, made, and enjoying that moment and having those conversations in a relaxed state, you know, and finding out, you know, like what are the flavors that you like and encouraging your children to really sort of, you know, express what they're liking about the food or what they don't dislike possibly.
Yeah. Just what you said about bringing the families together and cooking together. I mean, that is dying out.
It is.
Dying out. I
It's
mean, even the dining table is dying out. There's so many
yeah.
modern kitchens being built now with only the breakfast bar in them.
Yeah, it's, you know, I know that everybody is on the go and they're so busy with so many different activities, but you know, it's really about changing up your routine and scheduling in that time together. And I think that is so precious and so important for people these days.
Absolutely, absolutely. So about this season, I would like to just, move and talk about the season of autumn and winter when we just naturally want to eat more carbs. We naturally want
Mhm.
to eat more hearty food, warm food, but carbs is quite stodgy on the system itself, and yet still we innately go to those foods in colder climates, like colder seasons, So, you know, I know there's no right or wrong, but what side of the argument do you see in reference to eating with the seasons in that way? And
Well, I
how
love
does
that. I
that
mean,
play with?
yeah, definitely. I think it's really important to be able to eat with the seasons because they're able to shop with, with for local foods more so. And, those are the types of foods that are readily available. And yes, they are hardier, but this is also the time of year where in colder climates, we need to keep ourselves warm as well. So, I mean, there are different ways of preparing the food. And, yes, there's it may be more carb heavy, but it's finding balances in terms of pairing it with more greens and other vegetables into your diet and any other meats or anything like that of protein sources. So it's really finding a balance of everything and preparing it in a way that is palatable for people, for something, to put together a meal that you enjoy eating. So it's everything in moderation, really.
Well, I know you said that it's like it's, we need that warmth, and fat on the body does actually supply the body with that warmth. But in the actual short term, in the, in the incrementness of actually eating a meal and the process of digestion, all the circulation is going towards digesting the food, and therefore the body is not getting that warmth. The body is cold in that sense, especially if you're eating on the go, eating a hearty meal on the go,
Exactly.
and even doubling it up even more.
Yep.
So that brings me to sort of like, Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. We all experience being absolutely full and not being able to, stay awake. It's all, you want to stay awake, and you want to play the game, and you want to participate in this, that, and the other. But uncle and dad and everybody's just like half asleep
Yep.
because of this full stomach. And what's the science going on there? And
Absolutely. I'm guilty of that as well with the holiday dinners. You kind of just eat this massive meal and it's like, okay, that was a bit much. And that's exactly it. It's a bit much. So your body is sitting there trying to digest all this food. What we should be doing is trying to get up and do some movement afterwards, some light movement. So going for a short walk after eating, just to help with the digestion, right? And get your blood circulating again as well, because you're absolutely right. When you're eating, all the circulation, all the blood does go to help with the stomach, because what it's doing, it's moving the nutrients you get from your food and helping it go through processing it so that it moves it to other body systems as well too. But yes, typically, if you're eating a big hearty meal like that at a holiday dinner,
mhm.
it's probably, in excess of what your body needs. So that's why it's taking so much longer to digest. And that's why you're feeling that heaviness and you're kind of just wanting to, go to sleep, really, just curl up in a ball and sleep.
Yeah, so that's it. So, and also the opposite to that is in the summer when we're not as hungry, or not as occupying our emotional state with food, because we're so much active, we're so much in the doing mode, um, and therefore we miss meals and we eat less.
hmm Yeah, so it's really about getting enough nutrition, enough nutritious foods and nutrients that your body will need, and some people, they may not be eating very much or, not even, I guess they'd be eating smaller amounts anyways, naturally. But if you're getting the right nutrients that your body needs, you'll be fine, right? So it's just, a lot of times people will just make a smoothie, and if they're putting in all the good stuff into there, you've got all your greens that are going in there, maybe spinach, apples, kale, putting some kefir in there, getting your probiotics and fermented foods in there. If you're putting all of that stuff in, that's what your body wants. That's what your body needs. It's all the good prebiotic and probiotic foods. So you'll be
Would
fine.
would you say there's a perfect time of the year to be on smoothies, to be fasting? Do you subscribe to fasting yourself? And what?
I personally do not. I will stop. I don't like the idea of fasting for myself and a lot of my clients because we're oftentimes in a state of being nutrient deficient or nutrient insufficient, because I focus on working with people with gut health issues and I help people restore their gut health.
Yeah.
So oftentimes by the time these people are coming to me, they have some serious illness. And so I don't recommend fasting for, most of my clients. And instead I recommend going on a food cleanse. And it's actually
Oh,
something that I'm doing
yeah,
right now with
yeah,
my
yeah. For
yeah,
some
yeah,
people, that's like a different analogy. I mean, for
yeah.
some people, fasting literally means nothing, no intake. And for
Exactly.
other people, fasting actually means that you're actually on a food cleanse. So I just
Yeah, so
feel like,
there's that
you know,
differentiation. So
yeah,
fasting means not eating food, for a set amount of time. And so, yeah, that's not something that I recommend my clients to do. But for myself, I've tried many different things just to see what it feels like and, what I experience out of, following the different diets or, strategies out there. But yeah, it's not for everybody.
yeah. What
If
do
it
you do?
works for some people, that's fantastic.
What suits your body?
What suits my body? So I'm not a vegetarian. I'm an omnivore. I eat fruits, vegetables, and meat. But for myself, I I don't typically focus heavily on the meats. It's more of a side dish for me. On the odd time that I focus it, having meat as my main sort of, bulk of the meal is really only at holidays. That's it. you know so, I don't recommend being a vegetarian or vegan for some people because their bodies aren't genetically made up that way to be able to break down the foods the way that, ideally we do. Right. And I happen to be one of those people. I've tried all the different, techniques out there just to see what works best for myself. And going back to being an omnivore, but being completely pretty much heavily plant-based, that's what works best for myself.
And some people have never heard that terminology before, an omnivore.
So that's just, eating your meat as well as vegetables, not just being purely plant-based.
And do you eat carbs, potatoes, and rice and grains?
I do, yeah. So, I definitely believe in having a full balance of, all the different food groups.
And tell me about more about your work. You said that you mostly help people that needs to repair their gut health. And I know that on the retreat, you're going to go into that in far, far more detail. But in reference to people that, that do want to work with you, post or pre-retreat, what type of clients do you mostly work with? How can people find you? What's your programs like?
Sure.
Share with us.
Yeah. So, yeah. So a couple of things. The people that I typically work with, they have very distinct digestive issues, different, gut health issues that are very obvious. Any sort of they've got IBS, so they're experiencing stomach pain, stomach cramping, and then other people that I work, to people that are having had portions of their colon removed even, so some very, very serious gut health issues, and also some things that aren't so directly related to the digestion, but also having fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, just having depression and anxiety. All of those things are affected, by your gut health as well. And yeah, so I get, pretty good variety of clients to work with. And it's amazing to see the progress that they make when they really make that commitment to themselves, and want to help them on their gut health journey. It's incredible because they feel so much better and they can actually enjoy life again. So yeah, it's really amazing. But yeah, in terms of my program, if that's something that you're interested in working with me, you can definitely find me on my website at www.balancedlifenutrition.ca, or you can find me on Instagram at Balanced Life Nutritionist. And yeah, I run a 4 month long program, and we go through the full details in terms of, assessing what is currently going on in your state, in that current state.
Yeah.
And I take a look at, it's a full lifestyle change, really.
When it, yeah, it is what, food is, it's
Yeah.
essential of our lives. So definitely.
Yeah.
Now, because now I'm really looking forward to your slideshow presentation on the retreat, covering all those things that you just spoke about in reference to the type of deficiencies and um, um, ill health issues in reference to the gut of the people that you normally treat. I'm possibly one of them. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I also want to just in case, in reference to, this is an international retreat, you might get people from all over the world inquiring about what it would be like working with you. Of course, you've got an online business now, everybody has. Great.
Yeah.
You could be treating, somebody from the States, somebody from
Yeah.
France, somebody from Italy, somebody from,
Yeah.
wherever. So I just want to sort of get sort of like a picture as to what that would look like, because some nutritionists, it will be about looking at their diet, forming a plan. I mean, every nutritionist does that, but
Mhm.
one would be more about the foods that you buy. This is what we need to rejig, reassess. And
Mhm.
then other nutritionists are very much about putting in the vitamins and the minerals, and therefore these are products that one has to buy on top of possibly increasing their shopping bill because of the extra different foods that may possibly cost more. So and there's others that substitute their clientele with herbs as well, and tinctures and stuff like that. What type of nutritionist are you? And therefore, will they be able to, depending on what it is that you're about to share with us, will you be able to send them what it is that they need through the post and what have you, or are you working
Yeah.
differently nowadays?
So I primarily focus with, working with clients through food itself. So that is the most easily accessible and something that we can find the most substitutes for and incorporate, because it's something you need. You need to eat, you need sustenance. But most of my clients that I'm working with, because they're in the state of health that they're in, they do require additional supplements. And for that reason being, is there's no way we can get enough from food sources to be able to boost their system up to that level. So the importance of supplements is the fact that you're not able to get that type of nutrient from your food source alone, and you're needing that from, just as to boost and, the supplementary sort of, side of things, to be able to put your body back in that state of being able to function at a better level, or, to be able to assist in managing those symptoms more easily. So, and it's not using medication. And most oftentimes I am working with people and their medical doctors as well too, just so that we're on the same page and understanding what the client needs.
So would you be able to post supplements to somebody that's outside of your state, or would
Um,
it be
from Yeah,
them
it's
to source particular
we
ones that you
usually
recommend?
we usually are able to find a source, something that's a little bit more accessible to them, because some of the companies that I work with in terms of supplements, providing supplements to clients, they don't necessarily ship overseas.
Mm.
So we typically are able to find a source similar to that, more local to them, or really just focusing on, herbs, or, certain tinctures that are beneficial to gut health as well.
Okay, that's a good suggestion, definitely. Because there's also, you've got to think about the import tax and so forth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All of it comes into play. And, having gone online, it's definitely, it's like, how do we do this now? What can we
Yeah,
find that's more local for you, or what will work for you, And oftentimes, I'll turn to just, it's all natural, either food sources or tinctures and different, there's even like powder forms of things that you can find in your health food store as well.
That's a good idea. That's true. Very true. Well, that's awesome. That's a lot of information. I would like to always leave the audience with a little piece of wisdom that they could start to implement into their daily life in reference to the theme of the guest. So one golden nugget of a health tip in reference to their gut
Oh
that you
boy.
think that they could put
Well,
into practice.
I think, a happy life truly begins with what you eat and making healthy decisions with the food that you put into your body. Because without that, you really have nothing. Your health is your wealth, it's your everything. So, really make
Your
some,
health is your wealth.
it is.
Your health is your wealth. You just said it, sister. Your health is your wealth. We don't need to say anymore. That's it.
So important. It really is.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you so
you for
much.
having me.
Your health is your wealth. You say it with me. Your health is your
Your
wealth.
health is your wealth. Absolutely. And happy gut is also a happy life.
Yeah, I like that one too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dionne. I'm really looking forward to working together.
And it's a bedside retreat, so make sure that you're in your pajamas and that you've got some nutritious meals that are very, very easy to prepare. So you're not taking too much time out and overloading your system. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you. Bye bye for now.